Determine the intervals upon which the given function is increasing or decreasing. In order to work this example analytically, so without using the graph to help us, what we need to do is just work with our properties of things. The first property for determining intervals of increase or decrease is that whenever the first derivative is greater than 0, your original function is increasing, and whenever your first derivative is less than 0, then your function is decreasing. So in order to determine that analytically, let's first find the derivative, and since this is a polynomial function, we'll just use the power rule. So that will be 6x squared plus 12x. And in order to analyze this, to determine where it's less than 0 or bigger than 0, let's first figure out where it is 0. So we'll set the function equal to 0 and solve. This is a quadratic that I can pull a common factor of 6x from and leave me x plus 2. So that means I have the critical values of x equals 0 and x equals negative 2. So at this point, I will put those critical values in order, so negative 2 and then 0, on a number line. What I need to do is determine on each interval if the function is increasing or decreasing. The way I can do that is take a test value inside each interval. So let's say I take a test value of negative 3, of negative 1, and positive 1. Those are the easiest ones I can think of. And I'll plug these test values into the derivative. So the derivative evaluated at negative 3. That would be 6 times negative 3 times negative 3 plus 2. All I'm really interested in is whether this is positive or negative, so you don't have to completely solve this, just enough to where you know if it's positive or negative. So this would be negative 18 times negative 1. So on this interval, I have a derivative that's positive, so the function is increasing there. Okay. On the next test value of negative 1, that would be 6 times negative 1 times negative 1 plus 2, which again would be, let's see, negative 6 times 1. So that result is negative. So it's negative on this interval, which means I am decreasing. And then lastly, on this third interval, if I plug in positive 1, it's 6 times 1 times 1 plus 2, which would be 6 times 3, which is 18, but I don't need to know what the value is. I just need to know that it's a positive number. So everything on that interval would be increasing. So now I can tell the intervals of increase and decrease. Just come off to the side and I will say f is increasing on the intervals from negative infinity to negative 2, and then again from 0 to positive infinity. And f is decreasing on the intervals from negative 2 to 0. And that's just coming directly from this chart that I made.